Alright, today we're going to look at a Mothman team. Now, Mothman has been around since the beginning of Unicorn Pack, so I guess that's over 2 years ago now. But it had a completely different ability way back at the beginning. I'll link some old Mothman videos in the description, and then you can go back and have a look and see how things have changed. But the current ability is that it gains temporary stats whenever a pet gains an ailment. So it doesn't have to be your pet, it can be on the opposing team as well, which obviously means you can play things like Microbe, put ailments onto both sides, and then your Mothman gets big. So here we find it on turn 3, and we're going to bring it in and then take the tropical fish. So the question marks guy is going to apply an ailment to the tropical fish, and then the Mothman gets +1/1 temporarily, and then that goes away at the start of the next turn. So obviously as a tier 2 it would be kind of unfair if it had an indefinite number of triggers. It would just become a 50-50 way too easily, given how many ailments there are in the game at this point. So it has 5 triggers, and the goal behind this team is to try and take advantage of as many of those triggers as possible and then reset the trigger count. So we're going to have the Mothman on level 2, and then after it's used up at least 3 or 4 triggers, we're going to reset again and try and make sure that it gains more than 5 in total. So the way we're going to achieve that is using one of the newer ailments. I guess it's been around a little while now, but it's called Cursed. You actually don't see it all that often, even though I think it is very good. I'm not sure I can even remember a game where someone used it against me. But I guess that is the nature of Arena, that certain things are just way more common than others. So we're going to get the Mothman a melon, I think, and then we're going to bring in the Pangasius here, which is also required for the team. And yeah, we'll just feed up the Mothman. We'll get the level 3 lemming on the next turn, because I think we need some tier 5 units for this team to work. Thankfully the lemming survives on 1 HP there. So we should be fine against this team from Friets. So now we're on turn 7, we can take the level up. We don't get any of the pets that we actually want. I guess I could just take the crocodile here. Or maybe the turkey. I actually didn't play this too long ago, but I don't remember exactly what happens. I feel like I say that every video now. So yeah, we'll take the crow. Although we want to reset the triggers on Mothman, it makes a lot more sense to do that when it's level 2.66 instead of level 1, because the level 1 ability is rapidly going to become irrelevant. Unfortunate 1 HP breakpoint there. So we can sell the lemming now and then go for the level up on one of these units. Okay, we don't get anything we want again. And we'll take the Mothman once more. Just got to be careful we don't inadvertently level 3 it, which I did unfortunately do in some attempts at this. Okay, this one's an easy win. So now we can just start rolling for the tier 5s that we need. Okay, we actually get both of them in the opening shop, which is very lucky. We get the crane and we get the red dragon. Okay, we don't get the ailment that we want, which I think I already mentioned is Cursed. But we might as well go for another crow. So what we want here is red dragon in order to put ailments onto the backline units of the opposing team. That will trigger the Mothman. And then the Pangasius is going to give Cursed to the front unit on their side. And Cursed passes the ailment back when the pet faints. So that will trigger a bunch of additional activations on the Mothman, as long as we've managed to reset the trigger count. So we're going to need blobfish for that as well. As we actually encounter Ochi going for some kind of ailment team himself. Not sure what was supposed to happen here. Okay, there was Pangasius. Was it giant Pangasius inside the fringe head? Maybe that'll be in a video at some point soon. Okay, here's another chance at the canned ailment. And we don't get it. Yeah, don't take the Mothman there. Thankfully we do still have 4 hearts though, so we've got the time that we need to get this all set up. Since it's a build hinging on a tier 2, it's obviously not going to be the strongest, so we do actually need to win relatively quickly. I guess the crane does a lot of heavy lifting as well. As you can see, I think that's the last couple of turns where the Mothman has just soloed large parts of the opposing squad. So here we go, we get the blobfish. So now the Mothman will get 3 triggers from the start of battle abilities. Then it will get reset by the blobfish. And now when it knocks out the sea serpent, the cursed gets passed back and it gets a bunch more activations. Actually, here we get help from the Phoenix. So I think we ended up maxing out the triggers there on the second go-round. So the only way we can improve this is to get the red dragon up to level 3. So I think we'll use 4 activations on the first sequence, and then potentially more after that, depending on how the cursed interacts. It is random, but because we've got level 2 Pangasius, it will affect 2 pets. So you can see here that the shark ends up getting it as well. I think it would be very difficult to get a scenario where the Mothman gets all 5 triggers and then all 5 triggers from the cursed again. I guess they would have to have pets in the backline that summon other pets, I think. And here I was about to buy the crane, but we don't actually need it because it will get reset. In fact, I think it's better to have it reset because you could potentially get sniped and waste the trigger of the crane. Yeah, so here's another team where there are only 4 pets left, so we won't get to see it work anyway. Yeah, you could see the Mothman gain the health after it had already fainted. It's kind of a weird, like, I don't know if you would class that as a bug or not, but it does look a bit strange when a pet that's been knocked out is gaining stats. So it would be nice to have level 3 red dragon here. As we actually face a team that has a 7 HP unit in the backline, so the red dragon doesn't get the knockout. But Mothman with the extra melon from the crane is going to get the job done. So there is Mothman with a cursed reset. Even though the team doesn't look that complicated, I'm pretty proud of that one. And then last little bit of business at the end here, we're going to give away some packs. So I bought 5 copies of Mini Pack 3. And I'm just going to give these away to people whose usernames I've noticed in customs a lot recently that I don't necessarily recognize. So I presume these are either new players or they're people who are just playing customs for the first time recently. And I feel like I need to encourage as many people as possible to play custom packs because, you know, variety is the spice of life, and it's nice to see a lot of different teams on the go. People who are trying out different combos, you know, going for different teams, using the pets that they have in as many different ways as they possibly can. So whether or not some of these people are new, I don't know. Some of them might be old accounts that have renamed themselves, but either way, these have just been kind of selected randomly from the people who looked like they didn't necessarily have all the packs. I will do a proper giveaway at some point soon as well.